Hello everyone, my name is Seth, and today I'm going to give you my review of Air. So if you don't know, I'm a huge basketball fan. I played it growing up. I watch a ton of games. I go to a lot of games, and basketball season is in full swing. So since I missed it when it came out in theaters, I think there's no better time to go ahead and review this film. But before I go any farther, go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Air is the latest directorial effort from Ben Affleck, and this covers the real-life story of Sonny Vaccaro, who led the pursuit of Michael Jordan to sign with Nike. I think this is such an interesting story. I think there's enough here dramatically for you to be interested in these characters and in this situation, even if you don't care about basketball. But if you do care about basketball, like myself, you're all in. This is right up my alley. But if you don't care about basketball, I can see how this movie might be a little bit tougher to get into, but I think it's worth it because there's some good stuff here. I think maybe it starts a little slow, but they do a good job of setting up characters. The thing I realized quickly about this film is that the script is very, very good. There's basically like no extra, no fat on this. It is edited really well. Movies like this can probably tend to be a little bit too long, but I think this was like the perfect length for this film. But speaking of the script, the dialogue here is really, really good. All of the characters have a distinct personality, a distinct voice, and you can tell that through the dialogue. It's very well defined, and all of the characters have their own distinct way of speaking. Everything sounds so natural here, and sometimes that's hard to come across with a script, but everything sounds so incredibly natural, and at times it feels like you were just kind of taking a glimpse into real life conversations, not necessarily a film. And I would say the dialogue has to be good in this film, because that's basically the whole movie is people talking to each other. So if that falls flat, if the script falls flat, then I think the whole movie falls flat. But I think they do a great job here. All of the characters feel real. They have their own quirks and they have their own personalities. There's also a lot of little details for characters that I really appreciate. It really helps to kind of round out all of the characters. And one thing I love about this is how the script kind of comes full circle. They take lines and situations, ideas from earlier in the film, and they make it pay off in a satisfying way later, whether it be in an emotional moment or whether it be in a joke. I also will say I could like how they deal with Michael Jordan for the most part in this film. I think the way he's portrayed here, the way he's talked about, and kind of the whole premise of trying to get him to sign with Nike, that kind of gives you enough information to get kind of how big of a deal he is, even if you're not a basketball fan. I do wish, however, that they didn't do the whole thing where they like hit his face and things like that. It kind of felt weird to me. I understand they're trying to basically make him up to be like this big, larger than life myth of a man almost kind of thing. But sometimes for me, I think it was a little bit distracting. They could have just shown him. They didn't have to change anything about the role or how much he was featured or anything like that. But like, I feel like it was a little bit distracting at times where they were like purposefully going out of their way to hide his face. Even though you have a good script, you still need to put it all together, put it on film, and that's what a good director is for, and I think Ben Affleck did that here. I really like Ben Affleck, both as an actor and a director. I was really bummed we didn't get his Batman movie. I think that would have been awesome, but I think he's a really, really good director. I mean, he directed an Academy Award-winning film, but I think he did a good job here. It's not the best of his films, but he has directed some really, really good films, so that's not really a criticism. He did such a good job making sure that the script came to life on screen. He also did a great job of making each location feel different and unique, even within the same Nike building. And he also got good performances out of all of his actors. Matt Damon was really good in this. He was a great choice to lead this film. I think he fits this character really well. Did such a great job of portraying the confidence and ambition that Sonny had. And he was also very charismatic in this. Jason Bateman was great here too. He always does a good job. He also had a great emotional moment here, and he was the source of a few of my laughs throughout this film. I really like the chemistry between him and Matt Damon. Those are the two leads, I would say, for this film, but everybody else in the cast does such a good job. It's just really well-rounded and a talented cast. Their performances just help elevate the whole movie. Viola Davis was great. I really enjoyed Chris Tucker, and Ben Affleck was good too as Phil Knight, the CEO of Nike. Like I said, it was well performed by everybody, and everybody kind of had their moments. I think the sets and the costumes were spot on. They were really well done. I wasn't alive in the 80s, but this really just felt like the 80s. They really captured that time period. I think the cinematography here was above average. There was nothing too special about it. They did have a couple of nice shots that kind of spiced things up a little bit. I wish they added a few more of those in, but it was more than just like a standard back and forth over the shoulder shot kind of film. Very easily could have became that, and I'm glad that they made it more visually interesting. You definitely don't want your film to be boring to look at. And for me, I think the ending could have been a little bit better. Not necessarily that the end of the story is bad. It's just the way that the movie ends. It just kind of like slowly comes to a crawling end. And it kind of has like a stereotypical biopic ending, where you're like, oh, here's a shot of this person. Here's text at the bottom saying what they went on to do. I understand you kind of have to do that a little bit, but I wish they could have ended the film on more of a high note. So the story they tell and the end of that story is satisfying. It's just the way that the whole film just ends maybe took a little bit of energy out of it. But overall, I had a good time with this film. It had good performances, good production, and it tells an interesting story. If you are a basketball fan, if you're a shoe fan, I think this is absolutely a must-see movie. It may have some work to do here to get non-basketball fans really into the film, but I think the characters are interesting and well-rounded enough alongside of a great script. I think even if you aren't a basketball fan, you don't care about shoes or anything, I still think you can find this story interesting. I think I will give it a 4 out of 5. I had a good time. But that's it. That's my review of Air. Have you seen this film? Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. I would love to have a conversation with you about it. Also, while you're down there, let me know. Do you like college basketball? Do you like NBA? Is there another sport you like? Baseball, football, whatever? Let me know. I'd love to have a conversation with you about that as well. Don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. You can also follow me on social media pretty much anywhere at CinemaSeth, and I'll see you next time.